In this video, we will learn about sampling and mixing in negative feedback amplifier. So, what exactly is a feedback network? Feedback is used in virtually all amplifier systems. This was invented in 1928 by Harold Black. In feedback system, a signal that is proportional to the output is fed back to the input and combined with the input signal to produce a desired system response. So let's now see the feedback amplifier. Feedback is a technique where a proportion of the output of a system is fed back and recombined with input, as shown in the figure. There are two types of feedback amplifier, positive and negative. Now let us look at this diagram. When we say that the amplifier has a feedback network, we see that the circuit is a closed loop. And if the circuit is open, then there is no feedback. Let us now look at the block diagram of feedback amplifier. First, the source signal is sent into the basic amplifier through a mixer network. Then, the output of the amplifier is sent into the sampling network, which in turn is sampled and returned to the feedback network. And the output of the feedback network is then sent to the mixer network, that is the input side. In this block diagram, we see that the feedback network connects the output and input of the amplifier. So now let us look at the sampling. Sampling deals with the signals that is present at the output side of the amplifier. Sampling is the process by which we take some output and send it to the feedback network. This may be performed in two different ways, that is voltage and current sampling. In voltage sampling, the output voltage is sampled by connecting a feedback network in shunt across the output, as shown in the figure. And the second one, that is the current sampling, the output current is sampled by connecting a feedback network in series with the output. Now let us look at the mixing process. This mainly applies to the input side of the amplifier. Whenever there is a feedback network, it produces or generates some feedback signal, that is, beta times the output of the amplifier. And how we mix this feedback signal to the input signal is called as mixing. There are two ways, series and parallel or shunt. If the mixing is series, then the voltage is added or mixed, and it is said that the feedback signal is a voltage signal. And if the mixing is in parallel, then the feedback signal is current signal. The feedback network provides reduced portion of the output as feedback signal to the input mixer network. And this is the basis by which we have four feedback topologies, namely series shunt, shunt series, series, and shunt. This is the way to classify amplifiers into four basic categories based on their input and output signal relationships. The series shunt feedback amplifier is also known as voltage amplifier. Here, the sampling signal and the mixing signal are both voltage. Similarly, shunt series feedback amplifier, the sampling signal and the mixing signal are both current. In the series feedback amplifier, the sampling signal is voltage and mixing signal is current. The shunt feedback amplifier, the sampling signal is current and mixing signal is voltage. So this is all about the mixing and sampling process in a negative feedback amplifier, or a feedback amplifier in general. Now let us discuss about identifying the topology of the feedback network. To find the type of sampling network, First of all, by shorting the output, that is voltage is equal to 0, if the feedback signal becomes 0, then we can say that it is voltage sampling. But by opening the output loop, that is current is equal to 0, if feedback signal becomes 0, then we can say that it is current sampling. The next one, to find the type of mixing network, if the feedback signal is subtracted from the externally applied signal as a voltage in the input loop, we can say that it is series mixing. If the feedback signal is subtracted from the externally applied signal as a current in the input loop, we can say that it is shunt mixing. Thus, by determining type of sampling network and mixing network, type of feedback amplifier can be determined. For example, if amplifier uses a voltage sampling and series mixing, then we can say that it is a voltage series amplifier.